What have you witnessed that is truly unforgettable? I am an EMT. We were waiting at a light right as we were headed back to the station for our end of shift. We see a man running like Usain Bolt across the crosswalk to beat the light and a woman chasing him. My partner and I both look at each other and he says, "She's gonna get hit," and the car in the rightmost lane guns it as the light turns green and the next thing we see is flip-flops flying and a pair of legs in the air. Female was plowed over and landed on her face in the street. We immediately turn on our lights and hop out of the ambulance. When we get to the girl, she's unconscious, peed herself, and is bleeding from multiple bad wounds on her limbs and a nasty head wound. My partner, who is a paramedic, starts his assessment as I go to grab a backboard and C-collar and call it into dispatch. She wakes up a second later and immediately starts screaming about her boyfriend leaving her. She stands up and tries to run after him, face plants on the curb, and proceeds to lose a tooth. We finally calmed her down enough to get her onto the gurney. Mind you, she wouldn't listen and kept trying to walk around after suffering a couple head injuries. Once we get her into the back of the ambulance and out of the road into a nearby parking lot, the driver that hit her rolls up. By now firefighters are on scene and asking what the hell is going on. We give them the lowdown and my partner tells them we can handle it, so they leave, confused and somewhat trepidatious. We talk to this woman for a while insisting that she needs to go to the hospital, but she keeps saying that she can't go and she needs to find her boyfriend. Meanwhile, the driver who hit her is apologizing to me and saying she wants to help any way she can. The woman keeps saying she can't go to the hospital. After we get her cleaned up and bandage all the wounds, she asks if we can take her to her boyfriend's house. Well, as an EMT I can do one of two things. Either take you to the hospital or leave you where you are. She refuses transport vehemently, so my partner and I tell her that we can't take her anywhere. She then proceeds to hop out of the ambulance and ask the driver who just hit her if she would take her to her boyfriend's house if she didn't call the cops. Before we can even radio in that the patient was refusing transport to the hospital, she's rolling away in the car that just hit her and tossed her 8 foot in the air. Turns out the reason she did not want to go to the hospital is because she was on the run from the police for ending the life of her younger sister in a dispute over who gets the money from her mother's life insurance.